morning, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my realistic morning routine. I did have an early wake up this morning around 4:20. My husband went to the airport. Otherwise, I would have probably tried to get up around 5:15. But I was already up, so I thought I would just get my day going around 4:45. So what you have seen is what I typically do most mornings during the week. And I am going to the gym this morning. I went yesterday morning, but I don't really typically do early morning workouts. But I have worked the last 2 days of my part-time job, so I've been wanting to get my workouts in so I don't make excuses after work, because it's really hard to work out at like 5 or 6. And yesterday I had 2 clients after work, so I would have had to work out at like 7 p.m. Like, that's just not realistic. So I either take a rest day or I get my workout done early. So today I am going to get it done early again, and I'll have some time before work to get some work done, work on my business done. I actually don't have clients this morning, which is typically rare before I go to my part-time job. So I'm kind of just soaking up this like free morning until 10 a.m. But yeah, what you've seen so far is what I typically do. You know, I drink my warm water in the morning before I have some coffee. I have been trying to meditate every single day, or most days. I always journal, and I read one of the 3 books that I'm reading. Right now I'm reading like 2 books in the morning, so I kind of alternate. I'm reading Quit Like a Woman, which is the book that's been helping me literally quit drinking. And then Take Your Own Advice by Jeffrey March, which is also a really, really great one. So I've kind of been alternating those 2 in the mornings. On the weekends, or if I'm having like a day where I just don't want to work on anything like inner growth wise, I will read whatever novel I'm reading. I just started Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver a couple of days ago. I'm only like 1 or 2 chapters in. But yeah, so sometimes I'll read just my novel just to have some quiet time in the morning if I don't feel like meditating, journaling, or like reading a self-help book. So that is my morning so far. Oh, and I did one activity that my coach has me doing related to my business. So that's the other thing I was kind of journaling on. And then I always make my bed. I'm dressed for the gym. I'm going to get a full body workout in. And then I thought when I come back, or after I shower and kind of start getting ready so that I'm not running late today, I would give you maybe like my top tips for waking up early and starting your day with intention, because I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with, and it's something they want to tackle and improve upon. So I thought I would give you my tips, and maybe these will work for you, maybe they won't. I have always been a morning person. I'm an early bird. I love the mornings. Does that mean it's not always hard to get out of bed? Of course not. There's those days where I just want to sleep in. But once I'm up and moving, like, I'm not going to go back to bed. So I have always been a morning person. So take that with a grain of salt, or take these tips with a grain of salt. But I do hope that they help you a little bit, or maybe 1 or 2 of them. And yeah, I'll get into those when I get back from the gym, but I'll try to record some clips maybe if I'm not too distracted. So let's head to the gym. All right, done with the gym. That felt so good. Glad to get 2 early workouts done this week already. I'm just going to make some protein coffee. I just heated up the rest of the coffee that I had poured this morning, put a little extra in. And then I'm just gonna add some chocolate protein powder and have kind of a protein coffee. I'm going to do the dishes. Usually in the morning I will, hello, reality. Usually in the morning I will tidy up something, you know, before I sit down to get some work done or have a client session or whatever. It just feels good to clean up the space around me. Like, it's so mental for me. So usually I don't have dishes in the sink in the morning, but last night was a little bit of like a later night, so I didn't feel like doing them before bed. So I'm gonna do these right now, and then I will sit down and give you a few tips to starting your day with intention and getting up earlier. Batteries are dead. God damn it. Extras. This thing dies so fast. I don't know. Are you fucking kidding me? Making a mess. Okay, it works. Well, I now have to clean up the counters because I splattered chocolate protein coffee everywhere. Always protect your hands. My friend Christine taught me this. Definitely don't do dishes without gloves on. Your nails and your skin will thank you. Anyone else share this pet peeve where, like, if someone is doing dishes, whether you're at their house or they're doing dishes at your house for you to help out, but they leave the water running the entire time, even if they're like putting a dish in the dishwasher, like, it's such a waste of water. That's like my biggest pet peeve. See, I feel so much better now. It just takes 5 minutes to tidy up something in your house before getting your day started. That's exactly why I make the bed every morning. It takes 1 or 2 minutes. So it just clears up my mental space. Okay, so let's get into a few tips that really have helped me wake up earlier, or like I said earlier, I'm a morning person, but have allowed me to start my day with intention and get out of bed earlier and easier. So first one, it's the number one tip I always give. It has to start the night before. And I almost filmed last night, but I just didn't feel like filming. So I was like, I'll just talk about it. But if you end your day with intention as well, and almost do like a couple of things that just set yourself up for success for the next morning, you will get out of bed easier because you're prepared. You're doing something before bed besides just scrolling on your phone or watching TV. It really helps to have something to end your day with and kind of prepare your mind for tomorrow. And then as soon as your alarm goes off, you're less likely to make excuses. You might snooze for a little bit, that's totally fine, but it will allow you to get out of bed much easier. So believe me, I don't always do this, but I try to read before bed, and I do usually get in the habit of it. And then, like this week, I am not in the habit of reading before bed, but I'm going to do it tonight. But reading before bed or doing anything intentional if you're not a reader, besides watching TV and besides screen time. That doesn't mean you can't watch TV before bed. Like, I always watch TV during dinner or after dinner, and then I try to read like maybe starting at like 8:30. Yes, I go to bed early. I go to bed by like 9:30, sometimes 10. So if I can start reading by 8:30 or so, I will read for 20 or 30 minutes. And then it's just allows me to, I start falling asleep reading in bed. But if you're staring at screens, your mind is still going, and something with the blue light, like, I'm not a scientist, I don't freaking know, but I know it does when I fall asleep to TV or to scrolling on my phone. It is so much harder to wake up the next morning, and I feel so groggy. So try reading, or if you're not into reading, you can even listen to like maybe a chill podcast, or you can do some stretches before bed, or do a meditation, or maybe you're into journaling at night. Try doing something intentional to finish off your day so that the last thing you're doing is not based on a screen. And that is my number one tip. So that, and anything you can do the night before to set yourself up for success. So if you are going to go to the gym early in the morning, yes, it can take 30 seconds to a minute to pick out your clothes in the morning. But if you can do it the night before, it's eliminating that step, and it takes away the excuse of being like, oh, I haven't set anything out, I'm not prepared. If your clothes are already set out and you get out of bed, you're going to look at them and you're not going to want to skip the gym. You're going to want to put those clothes on, even if it takes a little bit of effort. You're going to want to put those clothes on and make yourself proud. Or you can set out your water bottle the night before. I even prep coffee the night before. That way I just go downstairs and I push on the coffee button. Like anything at all. Set out your journal and a pen. It's so easy to just think that we can do these things the morning of. But if everything is set up, even like doing the dishes before bed, that way you don't have to do what I just did and wake up and do the dishes. Anything to set yourself up for success and start your day with intention is going to help so much. So that is tip number 1, is to end your day intentionally and set yourself up for success, even if it's doing one thing. Like if you want to start slow and you're like, you know what, I have been falling asleep to TV for years. That's just not realistic right now. Maybe you just want to start by setting out your clothes. Great. Take 30 seconds, set out your clothes every single night. Or if you do fall asleep to TV for years and years and you really want to tackle that, maybe start by, instead of falling asleep to it, you turn it off before you fall asleep, and then just, even if you have to put on some like meditative music, if you're someone who can't fall asleep to silence, or set, some ocean noises on your phone, and just lay there and allow yourself to fall asleep naturally instead of to TV. Like take those little baby steps. So that is tip number 1, set yourself up for success the night before and end your day intentionally. Tip number 2 is to make sure that you are waking up to something that you actually enjoy doing and that you're actually excited to do. And morning routines have been so romanticized. And believe me, I love my morning routine. I love watching morning routine videos. I love seeing what other people do. Like I love it. I've talked about this so many times, but starting a morning routine literally changed my life like 6 or 7 years ago. So I am a huge believer in it, but you better believe that my morning routine, when I started, let's say 6 years ago, and I started by reading this book where it was like, I think 6 steps that you do every morning. And I tried to follow it and I eventually kind of adapted it to make it my own. But from what I was doing to what I'm doing now, like I've changed my morning routine hundreds of times. And I think I talked about this earlier, but like sometimes on the weekend or just a day during the week where I'm just like, I'm not having it. I don't want to journal. I don't want to meditate, but I still want to wake up with intention and not just go straight to work or sleep in, right before I have to start getting ready. I will read a novel. So it can look so different. It can look like what I filmed today, or it can be like, hey, I'm going outside and taking a few deep breaths this morning. That's my routine. And I have changed my full routine so many times. And then I give myself grace on those days where I'm just like, you know what? I got to slow things down right now. So it can be literally anything you want. You don't have to do what you're seeing on social media. You don't have to do an hour-long routine. It can be 5 minutes. It can be an hour and a half if you have the time or you want to create that time for yourself. But just having that time in the morning that is you time for yourself and nobody else. So if you do have like a family relying on you, or you have a very stressful job and you only have a few minutes, give yourself those few minutes, because everyone needs time for themselves. So before you start the hustle and bustle of the day, whatever that looks like for you, take 5 minutes if that's all you have, or you do need to get the most sleep that you possibly can and you only have 5 minutes, that's great. Or if you need to start slowly working your way back so you're waking up earlier, start with 5-minute increments. But if you do, if you are a morning person and you just, usually watch TV in the morning or whatever, and you just want to start being more intentional about your day, then you can take an hour and a half and kind of add in some of the things that I've shown in my video today, or anything that you see online that you're really wanting to try. But back to tip number 2, I think I've been rambling. Make sure it's something you enjoy. So just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you or that you're going to love it, even if someone swears by it. You have to enjoy it. So if starting your day with meditation and journaling is something you truly love and you love that slow start to your morning, great. If you love getting an energetic workout in the morning and that kickstarts your day with positive energy and just a good, domino effect on the rest of your day, then go for it. Like, make sure it's something you truly enjoy. That is tip number 2. Don't force anything. It needs to be something that you enjoy. Tip number 3 is going to be a couple of tips on how to actually get out of bed early when your alarm goes off instead of snoozing. So a couple of tips are to have your phone across the room. I know your nightstand might be right there, but if you're someone who constantly snoozes, put your phone across the room. You can have your charger over there. That way you physically have to get out of bed to turn off your alarm. Don't have it right by you if you are someone who snoozes. So that's part of tip number 3. Another tip to getting out of bed easier is to use the 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. There is no negotiating with the 5-second rule. As soon as you hit 1, you put those feet off the side of the bed and you stand up, and then go turn on the lights. Like, immediately make sure you're waking up the room, turn on the lights, open the curtains. This time of year, if you're watching this in summer, it is very light out in the morning. So even if it's 5 a.m., like, the light, it's still getting light out. So open the curtains if you need to, turn on the lights, and just start moving. Go to the bathroom, start brushing your teeth, get your day moving so that you don't feel tempted to turn off your alarm and then just go crawl back into bed. So those are a couple of tips that will help you get out of bed, physically get out of bed much easier. Tip number 4, I think I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, but start small. It is so easy to see someone's routine on social media and be like, I want to do that. They are loving it. They feel so good. They talk about how amazing they feel all the time. And they have this hour and a half, 2 hours before they even start getting ready for work. Even me today, I got out of bed at 4:20 because we needed to be up, but I'm not normally getting up at 4:20. I'm not normally starting my day at 4:45. The earliest I usually start is 5 a.m. But lately it's been 5:15, 5:30. So don't feel like you have to do what someone else is doing. Start small. So if you are used to waking up 30 minutes before you have to leave for work, then start with 35 minutes and give yourself those 5 minutes like I was talking about. Or, start with one thing you want to change, one thing you want to add into your morning to start your day with intention before you have to start getting ready for the day. So don't get all excited, because it can be very motivating and exciting and you feel all this drive building up inside of you. But then the alarm goes off the next morning at 5 a.m. when you're used to waking up at 8 and you're like, what the hell have I done? I can't do this. So don't take a 2 or 3 hour jump earlier than what you're used to. So very, very small changes. Allow yourself, your body and your mind to adapt to that change, and then slowly add more in, or work your way back with your alarm clock. Or, if you want to just start with 2 minutes of meditation every day before you get started with your day, and then you want to increase it to 3 and 4 minutes, slowly build upon what you are doing so that your body and your mind have time to adjust, and you're not just doing a full 180 and then you're thinking, oh my God, this is so unrealistic. What was I thinking? I can't do this. And all of a sudden you're not believing in yourself, but you're not even giving yourself a chance. So start small, allow yourself to adapt, and I guarantee it'll be much easier to add that next change on, or wake up a little bit earlier instead of being I'm going to do this extreme thing, and if I don't do it, then I'm failing. So start small and work your way up. So I think I'm going to leave it at those 4 or 5 tips for now. I can always film another video with more tips, but again, starting small. So I don't want to overwhelm you, especially if this is new to you. So I know these are going to be super helpful, especially if you're someone who is just not a morning person. That is okay. You do you. And any change that you make in any capacity at all, even if it feels so, so tiny, is you stepping into the version of yourself that you want to be. And it will create a domino effect. It will create that compound effect so that over time you are noticing a difference in yourself if that's the path that you want to go down. So I know these are going to be super helpful tips for you. If you want to see more, comment below. Let me know if there's anything else that you want to see regarding morning routines or waking up easier or just becoming more of a morning person, starting your day with intention. I thrive off of this shit. So I would be happy to film anything else that you want to see. And yeah, I'll get this up hopefully by maybe Wednesday or Thursday of this week. I'm going to do a little editing on it. And yeah, I love these types of videos. I love watching anything morning routine related, and just give yourself so much grace. Every single day is a different journey on this earth, and we're going to have different feelings. We're going to be tired some days. We're going to feel super motivated the next day. Life is going to go throw things our way. So just be so kind to yourself when you're making any changes in your life, and it will go so much smoother if you're just kind to yourself. So show up for yourself, do it in a way that's realistic for you. And I'm so proud of you. We're in this together always. And I'll see you in the next video.